Hey, what is up, Mortgage Coach and Trust Engine community? I have a very exciting interview that is it's pretty unique. The conversation we're going to have, because a lot of the opportunities that are being unleashed in the market are innovations that are coming out of the NAR settlement changes, and we're seeing the mortgage and real estate business just work even closer together. So we have on today's call Dustin DeHart, who's a producing branch manager out of the Las Vegas market. He's averaging about, I think you said 8 to 9 million a month. Is that right?
You can round up about 7 to 8 million.
7 to 8. Well, I'm a sales guy, so
yeah, always round.
That's what we do. And then we also have Lisa Billings, who is one of the loan officers in your branch, and I think you said she's averaging about 2 to 3 million. Is that about right?
Yep.
Now here's where it starts to get innovative and different, and I'm really looking forward to unpacking this. Is they're with Mutual of Omaha Mortgage, who also has a partnership with Keller Williams, and they run Keller Mortgage. So there's some interesting things that they're doing in terms of bringing real estate professionals closer to the mortgage experience, and I'm really looking forward to unpacking this and hearing more about it. And also, of course, they're mortgage coaches. So I'm looking forward to hearing that. So Dustin, why don't you go first and just describe a little bit about your practice for everyone so that they really know firsthand from you what you're doing, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, so what it was about 2.5 years ago, I joined what was Keller Mortgage through a partner of ours, Steve DeLaviaga, who you know well, right?
But by the way, I have to insert, I interviewed Steve a few weeks ago, and it went live on our YouTube channel today. So what's up, Mr.
He's the GOAT, by the way. Is there anybody better in our industry than him at what he does? He's amazing. So and that's where I met Lisa. She was the top producing loan officer at Keller Mortgage at the time. And I went there after being at a company for well over a decade, just because of opportunities and seeing the landscape of everything changing, and to be, thrown into the Keller Williams world was unique, right? Unfortunately, Keller Mortgage was not doing so well, and they ended up selling to Mutual of Omaha. So Mutual of Omaha, acquired Keller Mortgage. It's now called Keller Home Loans. Gary Keller still owns, 25%, I think. So we're Keller Home Loans. We're also Mutual of Omaha, and that's one of the biggest unique opportunities that we have that other loan officers don't have, where we can dual brand, right, Dave? So when we're in Keller Williams land, we're Keller Home Loans. We literally have 2 different business cards, 2 different operating systems, and when we're working with agents or clients outside of Keller Williams, we're in Mutual of Omaha land. So it's been an amazing partnership from the minute we started. They have every product and program that we were lacking at Keller Mortgage, but they've also installed these unique programs that were one of the reasons why I left in the first place, right? And so, Dave, that, especially with the NAR settlement, commissions are getting compressed, right? And the top, agents, we're already starting to do this with title, starting with title, joint ventures, things of that nature, trying to get compensated for the business that they refer out to, right? So it was about 6 months ago, we unleashed a program called Agent Plus. We started in the Keller Williams arena, where we can go to an operating principal of a market center, right? And we can make that OP, is what they're called, a non-licensed branch manager, right? So they run a P&L. They then get a loan officer, like Lisa would be the senior loan officer who handles all the business. And what they can do is then take it to their real estate agents, right? And if the agent wants to take part of this, they have to get licensed, right? We help them with that on board and everything. They are not full employees. They're just part-time employees. So essentially, when they're talking to one of their clients, they represent themselves as a loan officer as well. They would send their application link to that client. And then it would go back to a senior loan officer like Lisa, who basically handles it, does direct communication between the client and the agent, and then takes it home. And the agent then gets compensated on that loan legally, right? So FHA was the one sticking point where they wouldn't let you be a real estate agent or a loan officer. They've changed that rule. So yeah, that's one of the things we're doing inside of Keller Williams, but we're also doing that outside of Keller Williams with Mutual of Omaha. And we recently joined with the Jason Mitchell Group, was one of the largest independent brokerages in the country. You know, they did, I think, 7,500 buy sides last year, right? So we've teamed up with them to offer this as well. So it's not a, much bigger platform than, a smaller office inside of just a Keller Williams market center. So that's been an amazing transition. And the opportunities are endless.
Yeah, no, well, again, guys, most leaders have said that this NAR settlement is it's gonna drive change in the sales process, which I'm gonna unpack in a minute. It's gonna bring in new business models, and this is a great example of a company that is thinking differently from a model standpoint, and also look forward to unpacking all the different ways you're using technology in Mortgage Coach. How long have you been a Mortgage Coach, and why do you use Mortgage Coach? Because you're a top producer doing a lot of business, and I know your team is doing a lot of mortgage coaches.
So I was a late adapter. I think it was about 10 years ago I was introduced to it. You know me, my brain just does. If somebody doesn't sit there and show me how to do something, my attention span's about 3 seconds. I couldn't figure it out. I was actually introduced by a colleague of mine when I went to Keller Mortgage. Kelly Zitlow, who was the hugest proponent of a Mortgage Coach, right?
I interviewed Kelly yesterday, and
there you go.
Highly recommend. She talked about AI, and it was you versus AI, and how mortgage professionals should use AI. So Kelly got you.
She got me in, yeah. And if I didn't use Mortgage Coach, I think Kelly was going to probably kill me, but I did right away. And when it opened up for me was, the market was turning, and we starting to see seller concessions come through, right? And especially the temporary buy downs, and trying to explain that was cumbersome at best. But I saw the benefit right away, where that platform allowed us, and Dave, I was even sending it to listing agents all the time, right? So they were going to their seller, and instead of lowering the price, right, like say $15,000, why don't we just give $10,000 in seller concessions, where the buyer then can do a 2-1 buy down, and then having that platform to show that that's when it turned on for me, like this is a game changer. And the market we're in right now, if you can't separate yourself from your competition, you're kind of screwed, right? And this does. I can't remember once where we've sent a Mortgage Coach presentation to a client where we're competing with that the other lender did as well. So, and it's helped us get those clients that business. And I literally was able to secure one from a builder. Some builders offer incentives we can't match. This specific builder was not offering that great of incentives, and it was a very analytical borrower that when I laid out all the different presentations for him, he told me that's what won the deal for us. And it was pretty much similar deals that we were offering. So, but Lisa is the most prevalent user in our branch. She's been one of the most technical loan officers I've ever met. So the kind of Mortgage Coach I feel was like built for you. And when did you really take it?
So I wasn't introduced to it. I'd been doing fee worksheets and sending estimates. Like someone would ask me, I cut my teeth on the refi boom. So I would get a client that would say, well, what if I do this rate, or what if I do that, and I would be creating all these worksheets to email out, and it was very time consuming, as you can imagine. So when our company brought it in, I immediately was like, this is amazing. I need to learn this, immediately. So I dove into the training, figured it out, and it was like a game changer. Just not only saving me a tremendous amount of time so I could focus on sales activities, but providing the clients with a very clear and concise side-by-side comparison, which was so much easier to follow than spreading out a bunch of different worksheets and figuring out, which goes where. So it was like, just a huge, just game changer to be able to send that link and also get the agent on there as well as the buyer. And we could jump on a conference call and go through it together. And I can, share with the way that the screen will change, highlight this or change that. It was just like immediately made my life and my business so much better.
And a teacher background.
Right. I have an education background, so I love to be able to explain. And sometimes, it gets overwhelming for people because I'm trying to get into the detail, and it's like, this made it so much easier to just lay it out and say, here's an option where you're buying down the rate. Here's an option where you're not. Here's how much you're going to save. And I just love how Mortgage Coach presents it all very concisely, and it's easy to follow, definitely.
Yeah, well, I've always said the best salespeople are the best teachers. And so coming from an educational background, I think that really gives you an advantage. Kelly Zitlow is an incredible teacher and an incredible salesperson. So let's go through some of the things that I think are changing right now with the NAR settlement in the sales process. And so one of those things are that a lot of people, and I would love to hear in your market, and both of you can speak to this, when they're making the offer, they're not going to know whether the seller is going to pay for the buyer's agent's commission or not. And so I'm hearing a lot of loan officers that are using Mortgage Coach to show like, hey, option A, seller pays. Option B, maybe we need to raise the purchase price to cover it. Option C is maybe we need to adjust the down payment. And, they're showing buyer agent commission options and and I'm also hearing that, hey, realtors really appreciate that. Like, you're helping them educate the consumer and you're helping them get a buyer agent agreement signed. Are you guys doing that? And any thoughts on that?
Just recently, I've started including some of that information, and it obviously starts with that conversation, like you mentioned, with the agent, and I need to see that agreement. How much have you negotiated with your buyers so that I can include that cost into our numbers and show them, the bottom line, the true bottom line. And like you mentioned, and then this is if you can request a seller concession, that's how much that's going to change your bottom line, and then presenting those options. And then they know if they need to go in and negotiate, stronger for that, because maybe the buyer doesn't have, the funds to cover it without that. So it's a matter of, this is a make or break deal, right? But yeah, it's just kind of recently been starting to be implemented, and using that platform just provides it with another easy way to present the information and give them like a true comparison, that side by side.
Especially for the newer agents, right? Because they have no idea how to structure this. And, knock on wood, I haven't had any issues yet. I know there's going to be some coming, and let's face it, most of our borrowers don't have an extra $9,000 to bring to the table. So a lot of them are using it still down payment assistance. So having those conversations up front, number one, with the agent and the consumer are crucial. But then, unleashing a tool like Mortgage Coach to really break it down for everybody is certainly going to, be crucial for, winning the market at the moment right now, and just educating these agents that are newer at this right now.
We can talk about a percentage in theory, but when they see it, when they see how that changes their cash to close and what that concession can do for them, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I earlier today, it'll be probably hit our channel with the next couple of days. I interviewed James Dwiggins, who leads a large real estate platform that does 12 billion, so a lot of real estate, 6,000 agents. And he was saying that there's just going to be a lot more collaboration between the mortgage and real estate professional, a lot more handoffs, and a lot of the things that a loan officer is presenting, like a total cost analysis, are going to really be part of the entire home buyer experience, and realtors are going to expect that.
Yeah, depends on.
Are you guys seeing that? Like, are you, and when you're out there bringing Keller agents into the mortgage space, are you showing them Mortgage Coach and talking to them about mortgage strategy? Is that like part of the value proposition?
Absolutely. And, and it just depends on the agent, right? Some of them really want to dive in and figure everything out. Some are just like, I don't care. You take over and I'll be happy to collect my commission at the end. So it's up to the agent, obviously. But yeah, certainly recently we've hired some that have really wanted to take part in the origination process, and they have Mortgage Coach. They've been playing around with it and we've been helping them with it. But with the NAR settlement, it's such a unique way for us to gain more business, because showing this to like a group or a team meeting and how we can present this for them and their clients, it will really set a loan officer apart, to attract more business and keep and retain the business that they have, for sure.
We're trying to help solve for, well, not necessarily solve for, but prevent a problem that they might have. So they know they're going to have to address the commission issue and how that's going to look and what those numbers look like. And previously, we didn't really ask to see the BBA. I mean, I never did. I didn't care how much you were getting paid. And now it's becoming part of that conversation. And we're trying to help solve for potential issues and get all of that laid out from the get-go. And I think that's what, like you said, will set us apart, is making that part of that early conversation and setting them up for success as well.
Yeah, I love that. I've also heard from a number of both real estate leaders. I interviewed Tom Ferry last week. If anyone's watched this, I'll put a link down below. I thought it was a pretty special interview. I also interviewed Ken DeLeon, who is going to, I think he's America's #1 buyer's agent. He's going to do about $1 billion in real estate out of Silicon Valley. Incredible interview.
Like 3 houses.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But they all agreed that open houses are going to become a really battlefield for the buyer. And you'll see more open houses. You'll see more buyers going to open houses because they'll want to shop around for realtors a little bit more. They'll want to look at the houses a little more before they sign an agreement. Anything you're hearing about that, or any opinions you have on that?
Well, I can tell you with open houses, we have a marketing director in our branch, and pretty much, I think every 2 days, she's asking for a Mortgage Coach presentation to build a flyer out for that.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, like I'll get an email from her probably 4 times a week. But going forward, yeah, I never really thought of that with the new landscape. So again, that's something that's going to push you forward and set you apart from the competition. And just being able to, and it's always content, right? We're always trying to talk to real estate agents and give them valuable information. What better way than to show them Mortgage Coach and how this can be used to, make the process so much more seamless, and all the added tools. Like, that's something like just clicked in my brain right now, where, I'm being invited to team meetings all the time where I'm going to do this presentation for them. So. Yeah.
And anyone listen to this, we've started a couple new playlists in our YouTube channel. One is called Optimizing Open Houses, because we really believe that it's important for realtors to do that. And it's important to lenders to be partners to help you do that. And here at Trust Engine, we're working really hard to give you a competitive advantage. I mean, we've already got an incredible, we don't call it an open house flyer, but we call it a co-branded experience, something that helps you digitally show up. I interviewed Sean Herrero, who's a top producer in the NorCal market, who on the day I interviewed him, he was in Hawaii with his family, and he had put a bunch of Mortgage Coach experiences together for like 15 different open houses. So here he was in another state, and he had 15 open houses going because he provided Mortgage Coach links and digital experiences. So he's not going to the open houses, but he was providing, and then he's trained the agents how to use the Mortgage Coach experience to get more leads at these open houses. So I would just push everybody, get your open house game on. Any other thoughts on that, or any other things before I move to my next question?
Yeah, and even utilizing other tools like HomeBot's been huge for open houses too.
Right.
You know, and putting them together side by side. That's, you know, again, agents that just put a sign in the yard and expect everybody to come in, you know, that's usually not going to lead to a successful open house. But agents that, you know, utilize the tools provided like MortgageCoach and even HomeBot, you know, those are the ones that get traffic through the door and actually get business. So, you know.
Yeah. So I want to go two different directions. I want to one, address the interest rates are coming down. Now, clearly with your partnership with Keller, you're a purchase first, agent first group within Mutual of Omaha. You guys have a consumer direct group, but rates are coming down. That's going to lead to some refi opportunities. And, how do you prioritize that? And are you using MortgageCoach to help you drive refis as they show up in your database?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good tool to have for exactly that reason, because you're going to want to be efficient at providing a lot of information in the most, clean and easy way, right? So I have a huge database. My prior closed loan volume was a lot higher in years past. So I have connected, stayed in touch with that database and let them know I will be reaching out when the opportunity arises, not only for just a rate and term refi, but cash out, which has obviously been huge with, the amount of consumer debt that's out there. So being able to create a quick presentation that I can send out and make it very obvious and clear. Here are the advantages of a refi. Here's what you can save, and it has the component where you can show them reinvesting that savings back into their mortgage to help reduce their term is amazing. Like, it just makes it so easy and clear as to, I don't have to, obviously I'm going to answer questions, but I don't have to answer as many questions when they see it all laid out. It's just a no-brainer. Like, here are a couple options for you to consider. Here's how much you're going to save. Sign me up. What do you need from me? Right? Like, they're ready to go because they pretty much have all the information. What back in the day when I first started this business, it was a refi boom in 12 or whatever, 10, 11, 12. And it was just a lot of time on the phone, sending a worksheet. Here's an estimate. Now they want, to ask me about, the different recapture time. It just took a lot of effort and time. And this is a platform that I can shoot out an estimate, give them all that information, and it's one quick conversation and they're ready to go.
And it happens quick too, right? Because, like 2 weeks ago when rates dropped, I had all my LOs on the phone, and then, they went up, right? But we're reaching out to our clients, and, it's determining where they're comfortable pulling the trigger, right? And to have the MortgageCoach already sent to them and saying, once we hit this rate, are you ready to go? And having those alerts ready so that when it does hit, we're calling them, we're locking a rate and putting them in processing. So, so again, having MortgageCoach do that tool is just saves time, and it just, again, sets you apart.
Speed up and ready for for you to send it out, and you can just update it and the link will up. I love that. I can go in and change the date, update a couple things if something's changed, and then it's just instantly updates to the client. So
yeah. And then in the Tom Ferry interview, it really came up, and he was pushing hard on data, being a data-driven mortgage advisor. And you're a company that takes technology seriously. I know in your consumer direct group, they have our full trust engine platform. But how are you guys using data to be more valuable to agents, and how are you currently using data to do a better job? And do you have a roadmap of things that you want to do in the future to be more valuable? Any thoughts come to mind?
Yeah, well, some of the, when you interviewed Steve DeLaviaga, he's shifted focus, and instead of the lead game, right? Because we know what's happened with that recently. He's switching to more data-driven results, right? We know that people are struggling right now, distressed property, there's so much consumer debt, right? So I partnered with him, and we're able to now give this data to our partners so that they, again, it's being in front of the client before they, make a move, right? And it's, and that's key. So that's one of the things we're doing. Yeah, and again, our companies, one of our strategic officers, Brian Surgener, they're always looking at data. Like data is key. That data runs the world. And on a smaller level with the branch, we're doing things as well with AI and stuff like that. But I don't know, what else are you using?
I mean, I think just like you said, sometimes it can get a little bit overwhelming on what to focus on. But lately, like as I've been obviously purchased, like you mentioned, is our primary source of business right now. But I do have a database that I've been trying to utilize that data of equity gain. I have clients that have closed loans that, now can probably refi out of mortgage insurance. Well, if the rates are higher, does that make sense? But sometimes it does, or they have debts that they can pay off. So I'm trying to capture some of that information and that data and then use it to target. I have thousands of past clients in my database. I can't call all of them, constantly, but I can target ones that maybe are in that position where I think it makes sense based on what their situation was when I closed their loan. And I do use, HomeBot as another tool that will, trigger certain, these are the people that are looking at the activity. These are people that are asking questions about their home value. Okay, hey, are you looking at that because you're thinking you want to pull some equity out? Do you think you might want to sell so you can downsize or upsize?
They're thinking of something. They're raising their hand.
And they're doing something. So we're just trying to keep our eye on all of those moving parts because it's really hard. In a perfect world, I can talk to my clients on a regular basis and know what's going on before they make a move and I'm, cut out of the deal, right? But a lot of times we have to rely on these technology pieces that we have implemented, these tools to alert us like, hey, this person might be thinking about doing something. Hey, this person credit pools, this person had their credit pooled, maybe reach out to them. And those are the kinds of things that we're using to stay connected with our database. And then of course, like you mentioned, with trying to, turn those potential opportunities over to our agent partners. Like, hey, this is someone that's thinking about selling, have you been in touch with them? That kind of thing.
Yeah. So I want everybody to listen to this, write down speed to need. Like that is the world we're in. Consumers have needs. They've never had more debt than they have today.
Mm-hmm.
They've never had more equity than they've had today.
God.
And then rates are getting ready to come down. So there's a lot of opportunities to lean into customers. There's a lot of great reasons that you as a mortgage professional should be calling your customers. And I know you guys saw this earlier, but I want to show it to everyone. I want you guys to give your impressions. But one of the things we do here at Trust Engine is, yes, we have the mortgage coach and we're delivering an incredible customer experience. So whether someone's getting ready to make an offer on a house and they want to look at commission options, or whether they're renting and should I buy now or should I wait? We do that, but we also have this Trust Engine app. And so we're monitoring the entire database, trying to predict refis. Those could be cash out refis. By the way, removing insurance, that's a good reason to call. Rates came down, good reason to call. Credit improved, good reason to call. HELOC, cash out, just looking for good reasons to call. And I think what's special about what we're doing is that in a lot of CRMs, loan officers aren't calling. They don't know what's happening because they're not in their CRM. This is an app. It's easy to email. It's easy to text. It's easy to call. Everything we do, we believe in coaching. So let's give some coaching to the loan officer, and then let's give some sales coaching. Like what to say when you call, what to say when you email, what to say when you text. And then we want to make it easy. Copy, make it easy to text it, paste. Super simple, super easy. Remember, speed to need, guys. And then of course, integrating with MortgageCoach, giving you all the information you need so that you can have a really effective conversation with that client. More and more technology like this is really going to be the difference between the haves and the have-nots. Any thoughts on that? After seeing that app, what comes to mind?
Game changer for sure. I mean, that would make this so much easier to know, like,
Yeah, and you really hit it on the head, Dave. It's, having a reason to call, right? For everybody, and when there's a reason like that, what it prompts up, that's, we're calling them with a purpose, right? Because, we're sending and making it easy as you did. There's really no reason not to, so again, even with real estate agents, they have their database, but they struggle with reasons to call. So if we can help them, and hey, look, our mutual client is thinking about doing this or whatever it is, that, again, that just provides value, and, and it makes us a team, right? So the more valuable we are for that agent, the less likely they're going to leave and go to another loan officer.
and I can obviously go into my past client or my, closed loans, run a scenario today, see where they are, do all that work. But if that app is going to do it for me, like, sign me up, like, right? I don't want to spend all my time going through. And I mean, that's what I used to do. Honestly, I would spend a chunk of my day just looking through past clients and running scenarios compared to today, and then reaching out, hey, I can save you 0.5% or this, or we can drop your PMI. And that took a lot of time. So I would much rather have a tool like what you just showed us to say, okay, this has already been figured out for me. I just need to reach out and say, hey, are you ready? Are you interested? Let's go. Like, why would, yeah, it's amazing.
How do you think realtors would like that, knowing that, hey, the loan officer they're working with is monitoring data in this way? And do you think being able to show the app to an agent and kind of have the conversation would add value in the sales process?
100%. Yeah. I mean, that's something that I think they, we say how, we're going to stay in touch, and we all probably have good intentions of doing that. But in reality, it's very hard sometimes to stay top of mind with every single client, right? So we do have some of these touch points built in where we are connecting and reaching out, but for them to be able to see something like that how easy it is and how precise and efficient, I think they would, that's something that they can use as a selling point for our partnership, right? And that's what we're trying to build here is a partnership with our agents. Like, I'm here, I got your back. I'm going to continue to work with your clients. And then when they're ready to do something in the real estate world, they're your client. I'm sending them back to you with that information intact, ready to go. I mean, I can't imagine anyone not being happy.
Now, and agents that's dual license as well, when they can only
back to them.
Yeah, they throw this into their database. Like, again, it's huge.
Yeah. Well, hopefully everybody watching this, you're getting lots of value. If you have questions, put them in chat. You're probably watching this on YouTube. This is, we do have it live in Facebook. Before I wrap it, I'll go into Facebook just to see if we had any questions come in. Any just closing thoughts for mortgage professionals? I truly believe, just like Tom Ferry's been telling realtors, like, whenever there's change like this, it's a big opportunity, but you do need to learn some new skills. You do need to approach the conversation differently. Any closing thoughts that either one of you guys have?
Yeah, look, you hit it on the head. When the mortgage meltdown happened, what happened? The strong survived, and they became, mega loan originators, right? And so the real estate agents, and it feels like we're in the later innings of the mess that we're in. Rates are coming down, and again, going back to, you have to adapt to change. If you're with a company that's not going to adapt, you may die a slow death there. So you got to jump on and figure out who's going to take you, to a different level and offer you the opportunities, the technology, the data, to really set yourself apart, because everything's changed, right? And we know it. And it's, again, it happens all the time, but we're going to get out of this. With rates coming down, it's going to be some prosperous years to come, but you got to be ready for it. You got to have the tools and the systems ready to go to survive.
Yeah, and I would just add to that too. Obviously, there's a lot of different methods and tools out there, but you really want to be looking for those that provide a solution to a problem, to a pain point, to really solidify that partnership. And I think using something like this and tying it back to the NAR settlement and a big cloud over a lot of agents right now, especially like you said, the newer ones that are just figuring this out. What can we do to help with that and make their, their situation a little bit better or easier? And using tools like a mortgage coach is going to, solve for that and show them a great, opportunity that they wouldn't have if they were, working with someone else, right? So that's kind of my thing is I don't want to just be, hey, let's work together, I'll get your clients approved. I want to actually be there through that process and say, okay, this is a problem. Let's figure out how to solve it for you and make your life a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm going to close just kind of piling on what they just said. And this came from dinner I had with Phil Jones at a recent event that we both spoke at. We were both at, well, no, he spoke at the Forward and I didn't speak at that event, but we had dinner, and his advice to both mortgage and real estate professionals is start going beyond the transaction and thinking 5 years out. So both, real estate agents need to stop just selling. I'm a local market expert. I'm a great negotiator. I've got a great lender. Like those are table stakes to do transactions. But if you can help people, like I'm going to help you build wealth with real estate faster. I'm going to help you achieve financial freedom. And you start showing people what that looks like 5 years, 10 years out. Let's face it, all the move up buyers, or at least the majority of them, they have 2, 3, and 4% interest rates. And if you're going to help them make informed decisions that get them excited about moving up, you're going to need to show them what that move up looks like 5 years from now, because there is going to be an enhancement in net worth. Show that. They're going to help first-time home buyers be so excited about buying a home that they're going to win in multiple offer situations. Show them what homeownership is going to look like in 5 and 10 years. So quote from Phil Jones, who was also helped moderate Scriptapalooza. We had over 1,000 people live on that event. That video is in the YouTube channel. My guess it gets over 10,000 views. So check that out. Phil M. Jones, the author of Exactly What to Say. Incredible advice. Well, guys, this has been awesome. I love getting to know how you guys are innovating. Congratulations. I can't wait to keep following what Mutual Omaha and Keller are doing. And we appreciate your partnership at Trust Engine and appreciate how we innovate together to turn loan officers into data-driven advisors.
Yeah, likewise. We appreciate it.
All right. Hey, everyone, if you have not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, subscribe right now. If you don't know about our app and you want to know about our app, you can either go to our website, you can click for a demo. In the show notes, I'll actually put a link to an interactive demo of the app. So literally you can click on that and you can just kind of play with it on your website. And if you want to schedule a demo, you can. For all you individual loan officers, it is an enterprise offering. So we need to have a company that's helping us manage the data and drive all that. And hopefully everybody got value today. Take care. And thank you both for making time.
Thank you.